Welcome my allies from all around. This is Frontline, and today we are going to be going ahead and creating a little bit of something cool at the start of our base. You may have known that in the last episode we actually ended up doing stuff in the nether, and it was to be able to create a nice little tunnel for our base. I'm smelling stuff in the background as well, just in case you're wondering what's going on there. I have a lot of netherrack that I want to turn to nether brick. But that's not the point. What is the point is that we created a nice little basement area here so that we can have our secret little portal down there. I mean, it's not that secret, but you know, it's like you have to be able to go down these trapdoors to get to it. Right here is the actual main portal, and this is the tunnel if you haven't seen it already. Once we go through this portal, I believe we have to face into the wall to be able to see it correctly. Once we get out onto the other side here, which should be momentarily, hopefully, building terrain. Come on, Minecraft Realms, there we go. Ha ha ha. So, right here, we have a very small portal. We'll probably have to make this thing a little bit bigger for our project over here. But what we want to do is make this a bit better. So, a while back, I did add a little bit of path blocks so that people who entered would be able to know, okay, which way am I actually supposed to be able to go to see the center of my base. And that is still going to be the point of the path. We're going to have to be able to get it all together here. Got a skeleton shooting me in the back. But what I want to do is be able to just create the area here so that we can then expand and build the actual thing itself. I mean, of course we can build the actual thing itself first, but I want to be able to do this first. So I already have some designs on the side here. You know what? Let's just keep on building. I have my screenshots here, and I think that we'll be able to just create something pretty cool with the time being. So did I actually press X? I did press X. I'm trying to make it so that when I press Y, it just only comes up with this screen, so I don't have to craft anything. Was that a creeper? It was a creeper. Oh no, it broke the portal. Oh, okay. You know what? I was going to build. No, I still am. You know what? Creepers be creeping. I don't care. We're going to try and use our shulker boxes here and be able to create something awesome. So, as you can see, these are like old things that we've had for a while now. We're just able to go ahead and create a nice little area in which we can have a house. So if my building is correct, I can have it be this long because it's going to have a nice little window. We can even compensate and have it go all the way down there, and it will be pretty cool, I'm pretty sure. Yes, that is in fact the way that we are going to build it. This tree will have to get a little bit out of the way, but it's fine. It's a fine little tree. We'll just have to trim it a bit, that's all. So now we can go ahead, fill this thing in, build this whole entire thing on camera. Eventually I'm going to just build a bunch of designs in progress updates because I mean, that's what my original plan was, but nonetheless, I think that this is a nice little way of just being able to see my process. I basically tried to make it so that the base was completed first, and then I kind of tried to work with these pillars that has the spruce wood. It was almost I never actually looked at reference material for this. That's actually something that I normally always do. I always try and look at reference material because I'm not exactly the best builder in the world. Some people joined Craftaway because they were good builders. I think that I joined Craftaway because I had a good voice. I don't know if it was really because people are actually impressed with my Minecraft skills, but I have improved over time. Nonetheless, I'm rambling here, and I'm almost certain I built this wrong. So, this is also part of my process, is that I often realize that I mess up, so I end up trying to salvage my build. And I saw that creeper. I saw you, little creeping, and be able to get him with a critical hit. Got some gunpowder. How much do we get? 4. Awesome. Without a looting sword, we wouldn't have been able to get 4, but we were able to get 4. So I'm totally rambling right now, but nonetheless, we can finish off this little house. I try and like get the main support structures done. It's a good thing that I didn't end up building the side walls and stuff before I realized that this was not actually turning out fine. So we can end up making it actually symmetrical in the middle and all that stuff. I'm going to grab these dirt blocks so that they don't despawn though here. Hopefully, yeah, I grabbed all of them there. I think we have a bed. In my miscellaneous chest, I have a bunch of random materials that will maybe be useful for when I'm building all these kinds of different structures and things. Yes, it is late enough that the standing on the bed trick is in fact working. It's happening very slowly, but it is still happening. So nonetheless, here we go. We've got this base structure here. When I was building this area, I was trying to keep in mind that it's normally good to try and have nice windows. Oh, I never brought glass with me. That was another material that I needed. I'm going to get that later. I think in the back of the house there is a window, but with the tree I might actually consider not having a window so that I don't have to get rid of the tree. I like keeping as much foliage as I can. I'm probably going to even add more as I go on. So nonetheless, we've got this nice little area here. If I look at my screenshots, yep, it is a 3 wide. I think I originally considered just splitting it up, but I don't think that looks as good. I like having open windows. And yeah, then our next step in the process is that we're going to be building this nice little roof area here out of the oak wood so that we can have a nice slanted roof at the top without having to worry about it looking a little bit weird on the inside. So there we go. I think we have a little bit of, yes we do, dark oak stairs are a builder's best friend, or at least my best friend. I really like dark oak. I have to like restrict myself to not build with it so much, and that's one of the reasons why I changed to using a normal oak for most of this. But the dark oak makes it look a little bit more regal, you know? It seems like it just has a little bit of an extra flair when you have a darker block intertwined with a much lighter block in the palette. So, although I'm using technical terms here, I'm by no means a super expert builder. I am a decent builder, but yeah, take as what you will. You can criticize me in the comments, or at least criticize nicely is a better way to say it, so that you can teach me a little bit of your ways. I've learned quite a bit from the other Castaway members on this realm, such as Sunfire. I've learned from Klautos. I've learned from Bullybait. Well, actually pretty much everyone on the realm I've learned from. But that's kind of how this Minecraft community works. I like to be able to experiment lots and figure out exactly what I want to do, what looks good, and all that kind of stuff. Ooh, this is something that I wanted to mention in a video earlier. But like, you know how you always had to like be on top of a block to be able to like place the stairs and stuff? I think, if I'm correct, that if you're standing actually here with stairs, you can still place it. Yep, I am still correct. That, in fact, is a nice little update change that makes it so much easier to place down these stairs, especially if you're like on the edge of a block or something. It just makes it so that you're able to not have to keep on hanging off the blocks or like randomly falling off your builds and all that kinds of stuff. It just makes things so much easier. Anyway, let's go ahead and clean this up a little bit. I need to bring out my crafting table so that I can actually go ahead and get more of these nice little stairs here. So hopefully that'll be able to improve this build a little bit. I'll be able to just put them on the sides and stuff. Here we go. And we still have some extra stairs, and we'll need actually a lot of stairs because that's just how I've designed my area. So let's just build the front for now, make it look nice, and I'll kind of finish off the various details and stuff, like having the windows inside and having various things in there. And Apparently I just wanted to fall into the pit. I mean, it is a pit that I wanted to correct immediately, but you know, we'll just move some of this away so that we have a little bit less likelihood and more leg room to not fall into it. What was the other thing we were going to do? Right, okay, I remember now. Doors. Doors is an important thing. And there we go. We have a nice little facade that is a nice little house here. And, I actually didn't think about this, is the fact that I put a house here, and I'm wondering if it's a bit too close to the portal. I might move the portal a little bit. I actually have a design for the portal that I'll show you guys probably in this next clip. But I wanted it to kind of match the nice little dark oak forest theme that we have over there. Like a kind of enchanted forest vibe to it. Where it just is like almost a tree sprouting out. I'll show you it later so it'll make more sense instead of me rambling on to describe something you can't see. But nonetheless, that's going to be something that will change. And yeah, I'll catch you back up in the next clip. So as you can see, the portal has moved back a little bit and it has been decorated. I am still not certain as to if I want to add leaves to this thing. I kind of like the idea that this was a tree but it was like carved out, so it's not necessarily like a living tree, but it's something that is a portal that allows people to be able to pass through it. And when they carved out this nice little tree, they basically settled right here outside of the forest and didn't want to go into the darkness that is over there. Because that will be a very dark forest. It won't be a nice little quaint forest. It'll be something that has kind of like a little spooky vibe to it. So as you can see now that it's getting a little bit dark, I did light up this sky a little bit more. I have actually jack-o'-lanterns at the top of the stairs. So they're able to shine through in that way, as well as the fact that there's some torches in here so that this area isn't spawnable for people to go into. It's like we'll probably have some beds or whatever. I'll have to gather some wool for that, so I will do that later in the episode. But for now, I think we gotta keep on creating these houses, and hopefully this place will start turning out to look a little bit more lived in. And yeah, that'll end up being a good little vibe of this town here. Inside the house we built in the last clip, I actually, or in the first clip actually, we ended up being able to move our stuff into it. I have a bunch of shulker boxes that have just really random items inside of them at the moment. These ones are still kind of organized, but I am running a little bit out of dark oak wood. Hopefully we'll be able to run back to the base and restock that, as well as cobblestone with all of these different kinds of builds. But I have been building some stuff. So this one was the first one I actually ended up building. It's a diagonal house. And it's an interesting looking diagonal house. I think it looks better in the back because it's actually flat. This isn't supposed to be here, so I'm going to take that. If I can take that. There we go. I was able to get it. So it's a very nice place. This was the only way I could be able to make the doors look good. Is to like have it be this kind of weird indent into the wall. It's a good compromise, but it's definitely interesting. Low ceiling, and hopefully I'll be able to probably have like 2 beds in here. Figure out actually how I'm going to decorate these places here eventually. But this house is pretty cool. This one's actually an L-shaped house that was interesting to build because in my testing world it wasn't this close to trees, but in this one it actually ends up being like extremely close to the tree. In fact, it's pretty much in the tree at various locations. So it was an interesting one to build. I kind of like how it's a curved style. It goes around the corner to be able to actually exist, I guess. Like it's not just one of these types of house where it's just straight line. It has a little bit more shape to it. So in here, I'd be able to have like a little bedroom. I mean, it's actually private, you know, there's no windows. You can actually sleep without someone just walking past and being able to see you in your room. But yeah, it's pretty nice. See what I can do with that. But yeah, I'm just going to keep on continuing building. I'm trying to figure out a really good organic way of getting the paths to go around the place nicely. Like I think here was a good way to branch off the path instead of just being in one straight line. I kind of want this to be more like a nice little rounded off community rather than, hey, this is the path to my base, but you know, there's some houses along the way. I want this place to be its own nice little area without it having to be too connected to my base, if you know what I'm saying there. I'm probably going to build a house here, probably facing off in this direction, probably another house here just to extend this path a little bit further than where it is right now. And yeah, I'll catch you back up once I make a little bit more progress, and we'll see exactly how this thing turns out in a bit here. Lots of details have been added and lots of things have just been tweaked a bit here on the path. So I did end up building one thing. Right here we do have, well, actually we built a couple. You might have actually seen a bit of a sneak peek of it earlier. Right here we have a nice little house. It just has torches at the moment. Like, all of the houses haven't been furnished yet. I mean, this one almost looks like it's been furnished, but I mean, it's basically just my construction house. It's like I close the doors in here whenever I want to AFK and like not leave the server or anything, and also not die on the server, because when it gets dark, I don't really want the creeper to explode all of the work that I have over here. So yeah, that's just one thing. I was able to have the path be decorated, though. I added some spruce and some coarse dirt, as well as I used a little bit of bone meal to create various different tall grasses around the place, just to add a little bit more variation all over. Some of it's tall, some of it's short. I don't have too much bone meal at the moment, so I'll probably try and make some of it more longer. But as you can see here, we do have a new thing. So right here is a fountain-ish type thing. I wanted to make it so that water trickled down. The only way I can make that work is if I changed up this whole entire thing, because if I even just waterlog these blocks, for some reason it likes to go all over the place. Like, if it goes forward, I just don't think it's realistic. They would just stop on top of this block, even though it kind of makes sense since these are waterlogged, all of them. But yeah, that's just kind of how that is working for the moment. I like that you can waterlog the stairs because it makes it slightly larger than you would think it would be with the amount of space provided. Because otherwise, all it would be is just this little tiny one wide area, and I think that looks a lot better like that. So yeah, tell me what you think about it. It probably could be subject to change. I wanted to make it a little bit more cooler. I do really like the glowstone light on the top of it, but of course there can be some tweaks. There can be some things that change about that thing. So instead of having just a straight path leading through it, you can see that the path kind of branches out on both sides, so you can kind of run about it whichever way you feel like. Seems to be raining, so I'm going to go ahead and stand on a bed so that it can go away. It's an interesting little quirk of this server that we have command block set up so that we can actually have it be skipping bad weather and all that kinds of stuff. I mean, it's not bad weather, it's just not idealized for the scenario that we're building in right now. But yeah, you've already seen this. I've like decorated some of this path too. It's like all the same all around. And hopefully I'll be able to make a little bit more progress, maybe expand the houses. I was almost thinking that after I did this one, I was thinking, nah, that can't be the only house over here. I think that maybe this path could extend a little bit and maybe go like cutting into this cliff side here. Like you basically have like a standard house design, but you wouldn't have a window on this side because, you know, it's next to a nice little hill. I don't know if that's what I'll go with. We'll see, and all that kinds of stuff. I do want to build at least one more diagonal house. I mean, only having one makes it kind of stand out a bit. So I was almost thinking that maybe down this path, which apparently I haven't actually adjusted to have any kind of lighting inside of it. So I'm able to just put jack-o'-lanterns down there with path blocks on top of them. Because path blocks are transparent, I can do that. That's what I've done for this like entire path that I was building. I can just go ahead and do that, and then bam, it's like invisible light that just goes all around the village. And it seems as though zombies also like to come around the village. I considered having villagers living here, but maybe it's not a good idea to bring villagers into a situation where zombies are prone to spawn, even though I could try and spawn-proof it a little bit better. I don't know where exactly the places are dark. I mean, maybe this was a spawning place for it. That's kind of where it seemed like it was standing. But, yeah, we'll have to see what we do with that. And I'll catch you back up on another progress update on how this town keeps on expanding. Alright, so we finally found ourselves a sheep. There were a lot more sheep here before when I was trying to be able to, like, gather lots of wool from the area. They just were free roaming at the time. But what I want to do is I want to gather myself a giant pack of sheep so that I can be able to shear them inside of a nice little farm I have over here. It's not an official farm. It's just like a nice little area, a grazing area that kind of fits into the area pretty well. You can just fit some animals in here. I'm just going to punch this guy away because I don't need the cow. I can feed that guy to reward him for coming with me. And there we go. We're able to just have a nice little area here. It's very close to the actual dark oak forest once it comes down to it, but it's kind of funny because this is actually normally what happens in kind of weird dramas and stuff. Like, it's hard for me to describe. It's like that they're not really called dramas. They're called, like, fantasies, I think. And it's just that it's like, oh, the farmer with the sheep is, like, always, like, the person who lives closest to the forest, so that at that time, random animals come in and try to attack the residents, and the sheep are normally the ones who get eaten first. But either way, it's just kind of like an interesting thing. It's like maybe he didn't actually he didn't know that the land was like that the first time that it was passed down from generation to generation. It just ended up that that's pretty much where the farmer always was. That was where he was always living, and just that he didn't really have enough money to, well, not really that he didn't have enough money, but it's like everyone else is already living in their house. They already have a sentimental attachment to each of their living quarters. Cow, would you stop doing that? And yeah, I mean, we might not even have to scout out more sheep. We can just go ahead and breed them here. But yeah, they just ended up living here and all that. And yeah, it's just a nice little area where we can go ahead and shear some sheep, gain lots of wool here in the near future. And yeah, not have to worry about finding randomly roaming sheep instead. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to install carpets so that they don't end up being able to try and jump in while I'm getting out with my nice little gate here. But nonetheless, man, they really eat fast, don't they? I'm able to just gain a lot of wool really quickly here. I mean, seriously, it's like they just keep eating. I might even have to be able to try and find a way to get the grass to grow faster, since it seems like most of the area has already been, like, taken down. But either way, one thing that I didn't mention in the last clip there was this nice little archway. This is basically like the marker for this. He who crosses this line is not set to return. Of course, in Minecraft, it's hard to really make that the case. I mean, you can give the illusion that that's like kind of a thing. I mean, even when like there's that whole entire "he who crosses the line shall not come back," there's always that hero who like ends up going into the forest and then comes back out anyway. So it's not really a guideline. It's just, or it's not really a rule. It's more of a guideline. So nonetheless, this is the moment here that I need to really make sure that the mood is set. Like right here is my barrier. I can't have like any of these types of trees past this line. It has to only be the dark oak. You may have noticed I also grew some dark oak here to give more of like a gradual ease into it. So you can already see like the bearing presence that the dark oak has on this land. And that the further you cross into it, the more you get into that very dark roofed area in which it just is completely like you can't see the sky at all. So that's hopefully the illusion I want to go for. I'm probably going to add some signs that actually like have like the lore stuff on them, that it's like saying, oh, you can't like go past here, please don't go past, why are you doing this? And yeah, I'll catch you back up then. I think that's going to be mostly it for this episode. I might go ahead and work on this a little bit more later, like add more houses around the place. But yeah, I'll just catch you back up once this place is pretty much done. So while it's nighttime, let's just show you guys the progress that was made in here. So first of all, we have the whole entire portal. That was done very early on in the episode. I like the banners to it too. It just kind of gives the place a little bit more character as well. We've got decorations inside of all the houses. They're very minimalistic decorations, I will admit. But all of them have nice little green beds. Some of them have little nightstands that they can put their items on as well. Some of them have nice little reading chairs with bookshelves so that they can just go ahead and like sit down after a long day, just relax and unwind. This one has also a nice little chest as well as just a nice single chair for the person to go ahead and read the nice little stack of bookshelves inside of there. We already went inside that house. This one's definitely minimalistically done. This is just a nice little living room area. I might consider eventually to design a nice little dining room table, but it's also a very small room, so I might even do it like inside the corner of the room or something here. I don't know. I'll have to see on that one. Still got the nice bookshelf in there. We also have a nice little secluded bedroom where you can go ahead and sleep, and you got your crafting table and the nice little nightstand. It's not a staircase, but it's a nice block that you can be able to have stuff on just whenever you want to. The path does lead down a little bit more, though it doesn't lead to anything. I will probably have extra houses here later. This episode isn't necessarily to finish off this area. It's just kind of show off the building process and the nice little things that we've done. Just like this nice little fountain-ish type thing. I don't know what this would be called. I mean, it's not really a pond. I mean, you could call it a water fountain, but obviously it's not trickling down water at the moment. But I do like the look of that. Maybe I'll adjust the top of it a little bit more. Maybe make it bigger so it can actually have the water flow down. But we also got a nice little bed here, nice little chair, crafting table. This one's actually almost has a more practical use in that whenever I want to craft together some shears, speaking of that, I should probably put those back into the chest, but whenever I want to just go ahead and shear some sheep, I can go ahead and craft some here. Although, now that I actually think about it, I don't need a crafting table to make shears, do I? Well, we're going to keep it here anyway. I think it's a little bit more practical to have a crafting table to be able to make that kind of an object. So let's just keep that as it is. It's a nice little addition. And I did actually end up having signs. So we have like the do not enter and evil forces lie ahead. Don't say I didn't warn you. And let not your fate be sealed. So here's like the point of no return here. I also put banners on here because I thought it was a little bit more fitting to be able to have my nice little banner for this season right there for the entrance and exit of this place. I probably could decorate the path a little bit more. It seems as though I stopped doing some of the half slabs here as we went on through. But yeah, it is a continuous project. Maybe I'll continue doing it on a live stream. But for now, that is going to be all from this episode. I would promise that this video would go on forever, but that would be a lie. Subscribe to the channel for more content, and be sure to let me know what you think of this whole entire project that we were working on here with all the houses and stuff. I quite enjoy it, but I do want to know your feedback, what kinds of things I can change and add and all that kind of stuff. But until next time, this has been Frontline, and I will see you guys all later. Bye.